Clubhouse. So welcome to this. Today and every Monday, Lucy Mills from the Basel Foundation and I, Marie, we are talking to teams that have been playing in the Global Goals World Cup. Today we are going to meet Team Brave. Team Brave is an amazing team from Bristol, and we're gonna let them talk about themselves. And before we do this, we're just gonna do a little bit of a sense of what does it mean to talk to us on Mondays. So Lucy, to you.
Thanks, Majken. Hi, everyone. Hi, Team Brave, and thanks for listening in, everyone, wherever you are. So as Majken said, I'm Lucy, and I'm here in Barcelona, Spain. We're about 7 weeks into lockdown, so very accustomed now to working from home. So Mondays are usually like a bit of a drag day, but with the introduction of the weekly talks that Majken and I are co-hosting, they are really the best way to kick off the week. They are such a positive space, and the main thing that we're doing is we're introducing and welcoming Global Goals teams to talk with us. And the main questions we're asking them is, during this period of lockdown, how are your teams and how are you guys keeping active and activist? And then sharing a bit about your team, about your journey with the Global Goals movement, any of your highlights and learnings that you've picked up and you've enjoyed along the way. And also just to give us an insight as well about what the status of women's sport is in your respective context. So over the last month, we've spoken with Global Goals teams in a number of countries. So we spoke with Team Hestia in Greece, which is a refugee women's team. They were the winners of the Global Goals World Cup a couple of years ago, Majken. And of course, they're in Greece, they're in lockdown there. And so what they are doing with their women's teams is they're trying to keep mobilizing them, keep communicating. One of the challenges that Katerina found is that actually a lot of the public health materials that are being circulated to keep people safe during coronavirus were in Greek or in English. So her team actually then started to translate a lot of the materials into Farsi and Arabic, some of the languages of the teams. We also spoke with a team with Ishita in India. And again, she transitioned from working full on in football in Goa to the emergency response during these weeks. So food and medical provision, going door to door, and so yeah, kind of the role of her as a woman working in football and her team actually transitioned greatly. We've also talked with a team in Uganda called the Sprout Up Youth and Women Initiative. They were part of the most recent Global Goals World Cup in East Africa that happened earlier this year. And they're focusing on zero poverty, Sustainable Development Goal 1, and particularly in running entrepreneurship initiatives with people in their immediate communities, things like using natural materials to make candles and liquid soaps. And they've actually continued offering these entrepreneurship trainings online during the coronavirus crisis. And again, they're also in lockdown. We've also talked with, there were about 4 or 5 teams from Jordan. There was Team Make a Leaf, there was Climate Rangers, the group of pharmacists who come together. And it was an incredible talk about that they were actually building up to hosting a Global Goals World Cup in Amman in April, which unfortunately was postponed, let's say, not cancelled. And so they talked about their journey over the last year in working towards the goal to against climate change, and planting trees and seeds and no plastic campaign, and really inspirational to see how women from so many different sectors, like pharmacists, coming together and translating their technical skills into kind of social good. And then last week we had teams, one team called Team Green, Team Green, sorry, from Saudi Arabia, and a group of women who actually they're not from the same city or town. They're a team that are spread out all over the place, and so it was interesting to get the different perspectives. How, you know, some of them are running basketball. One of them is running a basketball academy. There's another one of the teammates who is a PE teacher. You know, working in different sectors as well, with different levels of sport, from kind of physical education, grassroots, through to more elite level sports. Again, working with climate change, they see this as a goal that everybody in Saudi Arabia can get behind, and they shared with us a bit about the kinds of initiatives that they have been running to promote climate action. And so, yeah, as I say, it's a hugely inspirational and positive time to hear from so many different teams from, you know, from Greece to Saudi Arabia. So it's a real privilege to host yet another Global Goals team. So we have Team Brave. Love the name. I want to know more about the reason behind this name. And we have Louise, Dee, Jade, and Ellen. Sorry, Louise, I'm not sure if I pronounced your name right there.
It's all right, nearly. It's Lois.
Lois, okay.
Like Lois Lane.
Great, thank you. So yeah, so we've got Jade, Lois, Dee, and Ellen, and they're all based in Bristol, in the UK. And yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for joining Majken and I. And maybe just to kick off, you could tell us what is the story behind your name, Team Brave.
Well, I think that would have been great. Unfortunately, I don't think Becca can make it here with us from Friday's session. She used up all her mobile data, but I think it's just a kind of to sum up really what we're trying to kind of give and bring, maybe take away from when we have sessions together. I mean, you have to be brave to go and do a bit of sport, or sometimes even just leaving your house is, you know, for a lot of people, that's a brave move to take. Sometimes I've felt it, particularly, yeah, with team sports. It can sometimes seem a little bit intimidating perhaps, or overwhelming. You've not done any fitness stuff for a while, or this is a bunch of brand new people, they seem to all be quite good friends or something like that. So perhaps by yeah, being brave, you're taking part, you're being brave by taking part. Perhaps then you could take that and apply it to things in other areas of your life, your day-to-day things perhaps you might want to do in the future. That's kind of how I see it, how I feel about it. But I don't know the other you other Pete, how do you interpret it?
I completely agree with what you said, and I think it is about doing something different, taking a risk, getting either back into sport or getting into sport for the first time. Jade, I don't know if you're able to speak a little bit about it, because I know that your journey, kind of how did you join? It was Feel Real at the time, but how did you join Team Brave? How did Becca get you interested, and how did it help you?
It was through 1625 through Feel Real, and I've never done physical activities. Like, everyone that knew me knew I wouldn't even run for a bus. I'd rather wait for the next one. So each week, like, my confidence built, my anxiety got better. So, and then after like a while, I got into it, and then I thought, yeah, I'll try the football out, and I really enjoyed it. But then I had a little Penelope, so
Baby Brave.
Yeah.
she's my baby Brave. Say hello,
generation.
She's gorgeous. Hello, Penelope Ray.
Amazing. And so when did you guys all get together, and when did the journey of Team Brave start?
Dee, do you want to go with that?
Well, I think it was you and Sinead and Becca, really, wasn't it? It wasn't. I kind of tagged along later. So if you want to talk about it, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, so myself and Sinead as well, who also can't join us, unfortunately, and Becca, we all, and along with Dee and Ellen as well, we all play on another football team together. So Becca kind of recruited us from there. We still play there as well on top of. And I think we've not really been going that much for that long before it was the global goals in Copenhagen last year. For perhaps 2 or 3 months, maybe, was it, Dee?
I think it was longer. I think it was about, because I was there for a couple of months, so it must have been about 6
Oh, right, must have been a bit longer than that, yeah. And at the time as well, as been mentioned, we were Feel Real, but that was a bit more of a wider activity-based kind of group, and so the Team Brave was more the football specific kind of offshoot, if you will.
Yeah, I think Jade was involved with more of the Feel Real stuff first, and then kind of moved towards Team Brave. And Ellen, I mean, how's it helped you become braver, would you say? You're pretty brave anyway, to be honest.
That's me.
Ellen, yeah.
All right.
Just yeah, turn your mute button off, bottom corner.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
There you are.
I am here. For me, it was a really sudden experience because I was told about it and I wanted to join for weeks and weeks, and I just couldn't make it, couldn't get myself out there. And then I had a visit from Sinead, who said, "Hey, we're going to Global Goals. Would you like to come with us?" And that was a couple of days away. So I was just a bit like, yeah, let's go. And that's how my Team Brave journey started. I did one training session. I was in Copenhagen, and then I've been with them ever since. And it's just such a brilliant team, so supportive, and it's a nice size. It's not too large, so you can gel with people, you can get to know people, and it is really, really welcoming. And Becca, Sinead, Lois, and Dee, they do a fantastic job of running the sessions. Everything is really well structured, and for me, it has been a massive thing, because even if I feel like I am not brave enough on the day to go to the other training because of too many people or something else, I always feel like Team Brave is always that little bit more open, and it's a very, very lovely team.
Fantastic.
You, when you have your trainings, are you talking about being brave? I mean, I think it's such a, in a sense, universal question that we should talk about quite often in our ways of what is it being brave, and when we have to take all of these steps. I mean, whenever you meet together, how do you do you touch the conversations? Maybe not all the time, but when you do, how do you touch it?
Yeah, I think we kind of allow it to be in a format that is much more kind of natural, conversational, so rather than putting a fixed structure around it, because perhaps I know I definitely have struggled to find language to talk about these types of things in the past. I think by having unpressured conversations have helped me to develop those types of languages and feel more confident in bringing it up myself within conversation. So perhaps we don't necessarily label it that we're talking about being brave, but we kind of encourage conversation among, like on a water break or something, into perhaps what you've done, if you've had any difficulties in your week, or things like this. And then perhaps within the training sessions themselves, we might try and incorporate the brave sense in, we're doing a warm-up, for example, and stretches there's a lot of different stretches you need to do as part of your warm-up. I might start off and give we'll do a few examples, and then I might pass it over to someone. We don't name call in that sort of sense, like say, hey, Ellen, give us a stretch. More we invite someone to come on, demonstrate a stretch and do it in that sort of sense. What do you all think? How do you feel it's?
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is about encouraging people to take it in turns to lead the session. So there'll be people who've never coached before. Like, how do you feel about coaching next week, or doing a warm up, or doing some of it? And I think, sometimes we'll share the coaching, so one of us won't feel that we can do the whole session, but we'll do half each, and kind of building up confidence that way as well. So it's not just about playing; it's about developing other skills. But yeah, it's more implicit than explicit. I think it's about people who the people who join Brave, really, including myself, the people who kind of need, I might not seem it, but need a bit of a confidence boost, or need some support, and need to get back to football, back to sport, or feel in a safe environment. And that's really what we try and create.
So in this time right now that we're in right now, how are you succeeding in staying just physically active?
Jade, are you able to leave your house, or are you?
Yeah.
I could go to the shops, and that's about it. But I walk to like Lidl and back. Like if I need to go shopping, I like walk with the baby, like pushing her in her pushchair. So
she's keeping you busy though, hey?
But yeah, she keeps me busy. Anyway, she's nearly crawling, so I'm there like trying to get her away from like certain things. So, and the endless housework and washing and tidying up and everything like that. It keeps me active, and yeah, the baby keeps me occupied and keeps me
bless you,
on my feet.
Sleep deprived and busy.
She's quite good at sleeping, actually.
Good girl.
Yeah, she slept through the night from 3 months old.
Oh,
so
wow.
I got her to know the difference between night and day at 3 months old, which everyone's amazed at, because when she has a nap, she's on her play mat. When she's in her cot, she knows it's bedtime. She tries to play up a little bit, but she knows it's bedtime.
Great mummy skills, Jade. That's awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, Jade.
And what about communicating as a team? Are you able to keep lifting each other up? And it's a long time, right, not to be on the football pitch. Is it in the UK now? How long have you guys been in lockdown, and what's the situation like there?
Ellen, you've been locked down and Lewis, you've been locked down for longer than everyone else, I think, haven't you? How long have you been in lockdown for?
Well, it's about 6 weeks, I think, in total for UK officially. And that's about, so I think maybe an addition, like a 7 weeks perhaps for me, because I'm in the extremely vulnerable category, because I had a stem cell transplant less than 6 months ago, so I have to be particularly cautious.
Right.
But yeah, in all of that is past and behind and recovery, and partly thanks to these guys. So we keep communicated. We have a WhatsApp group, and we're on Facebook, stuff like that. Those kind of things are really easy to facilitate those kind of communications. Ellen, you're quite good with all of those types of things. Always, if ever I say hi, you're very, very good at quickly coming back to me, which is always really nice.
Yeah, I am always right in there. I find, for me, staying active at the moment is a bit of a challenge, because I am in a slightly higher risk group due to asthma. I went out yesterday. I went for a really long walk, and it felt really nice. And weather-wise as well, it's been really sunny, and then it rained for a couple of days. And I have a dog that I take out every day, and she will not walk if it's raining. So on the rainy days we have a really short walk, and on the fairer days we have a longer walk, which gets me out.
Oh, it's good it's not the other way around, right?
Yes. So yeah, staying active. I am an introvert, so for me, this lockdown hasn't changed a whole lot, because I prefer to stay inside. I like my own company. Keep myself busy, and now everyone else has to do it as well. So it's not interesting anymore if everyone else has to do it as well. But no, I find that I'm handling it really well.
Good. So maybe everyone can learn from you then, actually.
I think also, I mean, Ellen, you named it the Brave Rave, but once every 2 weeks, usually on a Tuesday, the time that we normally train, we'll meet up on Zoom or house party.
Cool.
We try house party as well, and kind of chat. Or I think we might be doing a show and tell tomorrow night.
Yeah. Things that perhaps you've created or enjoyed in not necessarily the lockdown time, or you've rediscovered something that sat on your shelf and you're like, oh, what, I forgot I had that. Because these are great, like Zoom or house party, all these things to keep us connected. But I found that you need to have a little bit of a structure, otherwise it can get a bit, I've found them a bit stressful at times, a bit of a free-for-all. People talk on top of each other. So if you have a little topic or like the quizzes or something like that, but I'm kind of, I feel a bit quizzed out. So show and tell, I think, is a nice alternative.
But yeah, Lois, what you mentioned there about, I guess getting like, obviously we get on these video calls, and we're having countless calls together, right? But there's many things that connect us and unite us, and so obviously Team Brave comes together through sport. But on top of that, we haven't talked about this yet, but is the purpose aspect, and the sustainable development goal that you guys chose around keeping active and healthy, right? Was the kind of so football is the anchor, and then you're all united around the football pitch. But actually, you guys have done so much more than simply getting out on the football pitch, and you've been being activist and working on a project together around contributing to the sustainable development goal, keeping healthy. So maybe share with us a bit about why you chose this goal in particular. What was it about that goal that struck with you guys as a team, and how you have been applying that goal either in the run-up to the Copenhagen, to the Global Goals World Cup, or since the Global Goals World Cup?
I think Becca posted some things yesterday on the Team Brave website and on Instagram, which are very indicative of kind of what we do and why. And it was about promoting well-being through activity. And when we went to Global Goals, it was really a focus on mental health and improving mental health and raising awareness of mental health issues. And that's what we really focused on. And there's a few brave people here who might, if they're up for it, share some of their stories. I don't know. Jade, do you feel up for sharing a little bit? And this is one way of being brave. If you don't know, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. For a long time, I suffered with depression and anxiety, and I always had really bad episodes, and I was low in confidence in a lot of things. But when the opportunity of Feel Real came up, I was a bit anxious about joining, and but once I joined and done physical activities at each end of the session, I was really, it it gave me a boost, it wanted me to do more, and I was really felt good. And then and then I actually liked physical activities. I was like, oh, this ain't that bad really. And then when I joined the football, and I went to some of the trainings with my with Beth. I was actually like, everyone said that I was better than I thought I was. I just lacked in confidence. So I was like, each week I was getting better and better and better. But then I found out that I was pregnant. So like I had to stop all that. But it's like knowing that I'm able to do it and I could go back to it. It really like wants me to like makes me determined to go back.
Brilliant.
That's awesome. So it really did kind of boost your confidence and your belief in yourself.
Can I also say,
Yeah.
Jade, in all the statistics in the world, right? If a mother is active, there's almost 100%. I mean, they say 98% chance that her children will be as well. So also just for you to be a role model for your own daughter is just, you know, crucially important. But then you also, you know, do that, and then she will also just join right into it when she can walk a little more. Walk.
I think what it was is like a lot of people, because I am quite clumsy, I think it was more like a lot of people said that I couldn't do it, like, do you know what I mean? And when I was in PE, all the popular lot was doing all the like netball and this, that and the other, and because I didn't want to be around the popular lot because they used to bully me, I stuck with gymnastics. So like all the people that wasn't the popular lot, we kind of stayed away from those activities. So we went with the gymnastics when they were doing like volleyball, netball, whatever. But I want to like let my daughter know, like, don't let anybody get in the way. If you want to do like try out something, try it out. Because like it took me like this long to be able to see actually like sports ain't that bad. Like you just it's a learning curve. It's like a baby's got to learn to walk. So, you know, we learn to play different kind of things, like, and I think that's what I want for my daughter to like, because a lot of like in my life, a lot of people says, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do that, but I want my daughter to know you could do whatever you want to do as long as you ain't committing a crime. Do it.
I like that. That's the one rule. No crime. Otherwise, do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's good advice. And
Yeah,
Ellen,
Jade,
how's Brave helped you, Ellen? Really, if you're willing to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Brave for me, because I suffer with borderline personality disorder, and I've struggled with mental health for a long time, and I find it really, really difficult to be around groups of people. If there's more than 2 people, I'm not usually there. But with Team Brave, because it's quite a reasonably sized group and everyone knows everyone, and when I started, I knew Becca, Lois, Sinead and Dee fairly well, and they made me feel comfortable to begin Team Brave. And since then, it's the feel good. It really is feel good football, because it's such a positive atmosphere. Even if you miss the ball, or in my case, if I let in a goal that shouldn't have gone in, there is absolutely no criticism at all. It's always, you know, you tried your best, you do a really good job. And it's given me a lot of, Copenhagen especially was a really, really big thing for me, because it was very sudden. And it was just such a good team bonding experience for me. And I took a lot away from that.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, Jane, Ellen, thank you so much. It's incredibly inspirational that and a testament to the team Brave that you are sharing your journeys, and yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Majken, I was going to say.
Throw in a question. Somebody asked me today. They said one of the biggest impacts of the COVID-19 has been on mental health, right? And then and they asked me this question, how can we help combat these challenges with our love for sports? So I haven't answered them back, but if you don't mind, if I throw this question out here, is that for me, there's a deeper essence of the fundamental meaning of sport in a way than sport, that we see sport compared to how we experience sport. So somehow for me, when I go out and play, it is such a deep feeling of play and joy, and if I'm doing it in the right settings. So for me, I can easily say, yes, sport has a huge impact on my state of mind, because it makes me laugh, it makes me feel connected, it makes me move my body and stuff like that. But what would be your answer in this one of saying, what are the challenges of mental health in this time by using sport?
I think personally, the main thing to say is sport isn't cancelled. Team sports is, but sport itself isn't. You can still go out for a run. You can still try and keep active. There's still so many things you can do. And like Becca does the Team Brave from Chile, watching them and trying to go along with it, do some exercises at home. I think it's all a part of how much you feel you belong.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Ellen. And just to add a little bit to it, I've been doing some having the sessions that are like online sessions, or there are things like on Instagram, live workouts. And I've been, as like Ellen, I've been living by myself. So to join in on one of these live sessions at the same time with maybe, even if it's a small number of people.
Me.
And maybe it's you.
I'm taking over.
And it really brings a sense of connection. So I feel someone said to me, you might be like physically distant, but emotionally connected, which I thought was quite interesting, because we're all at the same time, I'm really sweating. And at the same time as another group of people somewhere else, another part of the country or the world, and that has been a boost, given me a boost. So I'd go for a run a couple of times a week by myself, which I find quite meditative, and it's quite calming and relaxing, because at the moment with my anxiety around COVID and everything, I'm just making constant lists all the time and needing to check things off my list, and it can get quite exhausting, quite manic, thoughts up in your head. Whereas when I go running, it's quite calming and chilling. But then that's a very solo thing, and I'm, unlike Ellen, I'm more of an extrovert, so I need to feel connected to people. So having these online clubhouse things that the global goals have been providing, or other things, workouts and stuff, can allow me to then fulfill a certain extroverted need at this time.
Great. And so I think both Jade and Ellen, you had not played football before, right? Before you joined Team Brave. And actually, there are many women in the Global Goals World Cup teams around the world for whom it's the first time that they get on a football field. And Majken, you probably have the stats to back this up, right? And that is the beautiful thing about the Global Goals World Cup, right? Because football really is for anybody, irrespective of ability, age, race, gender, right? So I think that's one of the things that I love about Global Goals World Cup. But you guys have all been to a Global Goals World Cup event in Copenhagen, and I'm wondering if you can share with me some of your highlights, some of the things that you'll remember for the rest of your life from Copenhagen.
Ellen, do you want to go from that, because you kind of got thrown into the deep end there?
I will start. I think the first thing I will remember is everyone meeting up in the airport at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was so exciting, and we knew that we were about to do something really, really great, and just getting there exploring the city, because we checked out when the arena was built for the Global Goals World Cup. We checked it out when it was being built, and we checked out every possible place that we could have gone to. So we had a kind of an idea of where we were going to go, what we were going to do. But I think the highlight is definitely, I think it was on the second day, when we all just decided that there was too many birthdays, and we all needed to get up and sing to the whole room, and those who had birthdays had to stand up. And I think Sinead, I don't think she enjoyed it very much, but it was really, really great. It was really great to just feel a part of the celebration. And the match day itself, it was incredible. Just the whole atmosphere, it was just amazing.
Brilliant.
I just think the amount of incredible people that that I met at Global Goals as well, and the inspirational stories from the teams, because every single team has an activist, or something that they're working on and working towards. And it was just the people I met were absolutely inspirational. And I don't think I've ever had been to that kind of event or had that kind of experience in my life before. It was, I mean, it's not hyperbole to say it was life-changing. It was absolutely incredible, and just you realise the power of that many people together, and separately what they're doing across the world. It was absolutely awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
I'm super glad to hear this. I mean, it takes me back to you and I. We were sitting when there was that team dinner for all the teams, and we were sitting outside in the bar.
I was in the bar.
Just talking through, and then when I got your, just for all of you to I mean, of course you know, but Lucy and Marie, yesterday she biked around to the Team Brave members and to give them the Gani care packages, and for me to have those moments together, that we've been sitting there, that you then share these videos of you being, and then seeing you guys getting the, I mean, it is, I love these kind of connections in the world. It makes us, it makes us real and connected. So,
I really enjoyed yesterday as well. It gave me a purpose. I'm not very good at exercise without purpose. So I had a purpose. Jade, yours is on its way. I haven't been south yet. I've been to North Bristol. But yeah, I can't do it more than 10 miles in a day. I'm not that fit. But yeah, it was great fun biking around Bristol with no one around as well, and delivering Gani's care packages. So I think Lois got one, Ellen got one, Kaz got one, and Jade, yeah, probably next Sunday is my next bike.
So Jade, I hope at some point that you will be able to join in the tournament, because and then of course just having a child on your arm.
Yeah, I'll bring her along. She'll be our little cheerleader.
Team master.
Yeah, exactly.
She's cute enough, so that might earn points.
I think we had a team in Argentina. They were young, and their activation was that because there's a lot of young women getting pregnant in Argentina also. So there's where they were doing football training for young mothers, so they could bring the kids to the training. I know that you can definitely bring your daughter to your training. I know that there will be a whole team of supporters. But,
yeah.
We did. So we have shuffled the timings for our training sessions around to try and kind of facilitate and incorporate those kinds of things. Obviously, you know, children. You can't just plonk them on the side. Although I have seen, which has been really nice, because where we train, there are other, there's a lot of other women's football teams training at the same time. And I noticed that they've set up little tents, and they put all the little kiddies in the tents whilst their mums or parents are having the training and playing football. So I think that's something perhaps, Jade, we can take from there for Penelope in the coming seasons.
I'll put her in her pram. She'll be fine in her pram. She's got loads of toys. She got loads of toys. Just put her on the side in her pram. Do you want to do that?
Well, it's good to see that you're already thinking about next season. So Team Brave is here for the long run, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd like to think so. As long as people want to be coming along and playing football with us or hanging out, you know.
The local high school as well sponsored.
Are you actually recruiting players? I mean, are you trying to see if there's other women who want to join, or are you just happily in your environment, or or do you want to open it up?
Absolutely, I think the more the merrier. We've been very lucky that one of the local high schools has sponsored the pitch for the year, so we can run the sessions for free, and as long as one of us coaches, and yeah, as soon as we've exit lockdown, we'll be back on the football pitch. So yeah, the more the merrier.
Would it make sense when you say that? Would it make sense, Dee, that you made a small story about the school that is donating the pitch? I mean, sometimes I think it's, doing these little shout outs to people that are, sharing space or commitments or what, to us.
Yeah, I mean, their logos on our website as well as a thank you for doing that. So we make sure we advertise that. But yeah, I mean, we can do
that. We can, of course, put that on the GGWCUP page if you want to run,
Yeah, right.
But I also thought, because I was talking to Becca about the idea of doing Zoom trainings, right? On that it's a closed Zoom training in a sense, right? For Bristol, but it might be a way of also opening up recruiting more. Now, I mean, Becca's not here, so we have to ask her about it. But she asked me, just if we could do this, using our Zoom in doing trainings, and then in this way opening up to inviting people into your group. So it won't be necessarily open trainings in the Facebook group, but it will be just in a closed environment. So also think about that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think she was talking about trialing it as a team first, and then maybe opening it up once we've got some structure involved.
There's that.
Well, guys, I mean, as I said at the beginning of the call, Mondays are always a highlight, and honestly, it's been absolutely fantastic to see you all and to hear you all and to hear your journeys in Team Brave, and really to listen and to understand what Team Brave means to you as individuals and as a team. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and I'll definitely be following Team Brave as a fan in the future, and yeah, just hoping that you stay safe during these weeks, and hoping that we can all return back to the football pitch soon. And yeah, it's been really inspirational. Thank you very much to all of you.
So will one of you or will all of you want to say something last thing to people out there in the world? And also, hi Becca, we miss you.
Yeah, hi Becca, we miss you.
Becca.
That's soon, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing us all together, Becca. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that it will be okay. It's okay to feel not great. It's okay to feel zero, but then you will get back to 100. And
it's the Corona coaster, isn't
it? Yeah. And I look forward to seeing you all in real life.
And I think, yeah, and if you're not feeling great, if you are having a dip on the Corona coaster, do just reach out. That's what technology is brilliant for at the moment. Most of us, not everyone, but most of us have a phone where we can WhatsApp for free throughout the whole world, and that's an incredible, resource to have. So if anyone ever needs anything, I think just reach out.
Yes, I think reaching out is extremely important. I've learned that the hard way. It's very important to reach out, and as Lo said, it is absolutely fine to not feel okay at the moment. It's a strange world, strange things are happening, so something we've never experienced before. So you don't really know how to feel. You're not prepared for it. So I think however you feel is absolutely fine.
And Jade chasing around after the baby. Are you again there?
Yeah, no, she's just rolling around. But I would say the same thing. Like if you feel like you're having a off day and you like can't lift yourself up, talk to someone, get off your chest. And sometimes I find just going even around the like walking up the shops like makes me feel better. Like even I'm like, right, I need to get some milk or something like that. Just take like walking up the shops and back. Those little things help.
Talking to people makes a massive difference, particularly when you're in all day. Just having a chat with someone can really take you out.
Especially when the baby don't chat back.
Wait, if she does chat back, you'll be like, oh, I wish it was that time when she didn't talk back again.
The thing is, she's my daughter, so she's gonna chat back. Sarcastic. Can't get out of that. But yeah, like chatting to people in like just having a rant like does make everything feel a bit better. Like sometimes as well, I going like after the baby's asleep, I have like a nice bubble bath and just pamper myself and kind of like have some you time, like take care of yourself. Don't be so hard because times right now is really, really tough. So
wise words, Jade.
I think that's some beautiful things to end on, that we really do need to talk together. We also need to walk and walk for milk in that sense, right? And then of course all the things of jumping in a shower or in a bath and kind of touching and letting things also touch us. I think that's a beautiful way of ending this conversation. I'm really, really glad that we had a chance to talk. This is the month, May is the month of mental health. So playing for goal 3 is a focus also for us in this month. I think it's a massive issue right now, thinking about new ways of making sure that people in the world are staying as strong as possible. So on this just beautiful, have a beautiful evening. Thank you everybody, and we will touch each other again soon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, everybody.
bye.
Bye.